If you're 65 or older and your employer coverage is ending, don't assume that COBRA replaces Medicare. As a licensed Medicare agent here in Florida, this is one of the most misunderstood coordination roles that I see. COBRA and Medicare can work together, but not the way that most people assume. COBRA is continuation coverage. It lets you keep your employer health plan after you stop working, usually for up to 18 months. You stay on the same exact plan, but instead of your employer helping to pay the premium, you typically will pay the full cost, sometimes up to 102% of the total premium. So yes, COBRA can be expensive. This applies to federal COBRA rules for employers with 20 or more employees. Smaller employers may have state continuation rules that work a little differently. Now, here is where Medicare enters the picture. If you are 65 or older and eligible for Medicare, Medicare becomes primary. COBRA becomes secondary. That means that Medicare is expected to pay first. If you don't enroll in Medicare and only have COBRA, COBRA may pay little or nothing toward expenses that Medicare would have covered. When you lose active employer coverage, you typically have up to 8 months to enroll in Medicare Part B without that late penalty. Here's the important part. The 8-month mark starts when your active employer coverage ends. COBRA is not considered coverage based on current employment. So waiting until COBRA runs out can create a permanent Part B late enrollment penalty and potential coverage gaps. Now let's layer in one more important detail. If you're still working at 65 and your employer has 20 or more employees, that employer plan is usually primary, and you may be able to delay Part B safely. This is very different than COBRA. COBRA only applies after employment ends. If you go on Medicare and your spouse is younger, your spouse may be able to stay on COBRA, usually up to 18 months, sometimes longer, depending on the situation. But once someone becomes eligible for Medicare at age 65, the coordination rules change. COBRA isn't wrong. Medicare isn't automatically better. If you're retiring, downsizing, or navigating this transition, confirm your Medicare timing before electing COBRA.